Hello guys, this is my first YouTube channel ever. I never thought I would ever do anything like this, um, but unfortunately the topic that I'm going to be covering through, I hope what will be a series of videos will be on bipolar disorder. And um, my experience with a woman who I was engaged with for 3.5 years, and our relationship just recently ended. But my goal with this channel is to really educate people on this mental disorder. I have been researching this disorder for a long time now, and I feel like, I'm not a doctor, I don't have the education, but I feel like I am very educated on this. And also, in addition, my personal experience with this lady that I was with, this girl that I was with for 3.5 years, um, it is unbelievable, the roller coaster ride that I went through. So, really, there's, I think, two different types of people that would find my series of videos to be interesting or of great use. One, if you are currently in a bipolar relationship, and you're kind of thinking, what should you do? Should you run? Should you stay? Should you try to work things out? And then another group that I'm really trying to go after is the person who has lost a loved one who is bipolar. The bipolar person left them, and you're looking for answers. You're looking for solutions. You're looking for peace of mind. And then, of course, perhaps somebody who might just have met somebody who's bipolar, and maybe they, told them on the first date, second date, hey, I'm letting you know I'm bipolar, just so you know what you're getting yourself into. Um, but please understand, I'm not looking for pity. Everybody has heartbreaks, everybody has problems in their life, and I just happen to have this situation occur to me, and occur, and I hope to be able to use my experience to help other people. And I'd appreciate any comments, any questions that you have. Go ahead and leave them down there, um, and I will be more than happy and willing to reply. But let me tell you, to explain what has happened the last 3.5 years, it would take hours, and you're not going to sit here and watch me speak or listen to me speak for 3.5 hours. I understand that. Um, but in a nutshell, in a nutshell, um, I met this girl, about 4 years ago, and uh, amazing, beautiful, um, and early on, I noticed a couple of things about her that were kind of red flags, but I really liked her so much, I just kind of went with it. But she was very aggressive. Okay, to start off, I've never seen a girl pursue me like this girl did. And was confusing for me. I'm not the best looking guy. She's a drop dead gorgeous girl, a 10 out of 10. All my friends and family were like, wow, this girl is so beautiful. And she is. And she was very aggressive in pursuing me. The first time we met in person, we had talked on the phone for a while, for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days. But the first time we met in person, she continued with that aggressive nature. We ended up making out on the first date. That's never happened to me before. It's something that I was, very uncomfortable with, because it just goes against kind of, who I am. And I just thought it was a little bit peculiar, but I went with it because, I was really into her. And the second date that we had, she tried to get intimate with me, and I'm like, this is just crazy. I've never experienced anything like this before, and it was definitely a major, major red flag. After our second date, we had only seen each other for like 1 week. She said, "Hey, my brother's wedding is next weekend. come with me, out of town. And I thought, my God, I've just barely met this girl. What is she doing? Why is she being so aggressive? Why is she moving so quickly? And, I told her, no, no. Um, I'm not interested in doing that. And she wasn't going to take no for an answer. So I went with her and we went out and we had a great time. Um, to kind of go through the first 4 months or something, I'll tell you this. There were some red flags, okay? But overall, this girl was amazing. She was the girl that I wanted to spend my life with. I knew it. And I ended up proposing to her. Um, I mean, she made my life so exciting, and bipolar people do that. I do believe I met her during a manic stage, and so she was full of life and full of fun, and she was very spontaneous, and she was interesting, and she was everything. She was very, very exciting. And after I proposed to her and she said yes, we'd been together for 4 months or something like that. That is when things started to take a turn. And I've never experienced anything like that in my life, in anything that was to happen. About 2 weeks to maybe a month after our engagement, we were talking on the phone one night. We got into an argument. I can't even remember what it was about. And she hung up on me and she sent me a picture of wrists that had been sliced, which I thought were hers. It turned out they were just some pictures she got from the internet. About 2 weeks after that, maybe 3 weeks after that, we were talking on the phone again, and we got into another argument, once again, something very, very small. And she sent me a picture of a fake positive pregnancy test. Okay, she said, hey, I'm pregnant. That went on, but eventually she told me the truth. And I'm thinking, my goodness, this is just crazy. I've never seen this before. Then um, it was probably a month or 2 months after that fake pregnancy test. Um, she, we were talking on the phone again. We got into another little argument over something minuscule. It wasn't major. I wasn't lying to her. I wasn't cheating on her. I wasn't abusing her mentally or physically. It was just some stupid little argument that we had. And she said, "Oh, I'm going to kill myself." And she started taking pills. She started popping pills. What she was telling me, she was popping pills, and then she became unresponsive. So I called 911, and I drove as fast as I could to her house. By the time I got there, the medical people were there, and the police officers were there, and they were taking her to the hospital. I followed her to the hospital, and I got to the hospital, and she was out of it for 3 or 4 hours. Maybe like 4 in the morning or something like that. She finally woke up. Took her a while to know who I was, but eventually she asked me if I could go to her house and go get some stuff, some toothpaste, and little things that she needed. And so of course I went to her house, and I happened to find her laptop open. And I thought, that's interesting. I just took a peek at the laptop, and I happened to find emails of her emailing her ex-boyfriend. Okay, and the emails were not pleasant. Plus, I found tons of pornography on her laptop. I mean, it was just crazy. Okay. Um, Now, she was in a really bad state of mind. She just had a suicide attempt. I didn't want to throw that on her. Okay. Now, I know most guys would have been out the door at that time, wouldn't have gone back to the hospital and continue moving on with their life. But I was already attached to this girl, which they're good at doing. They're good at getting you to be attached to them. You have to be really careful. And so I went back to the hospital, and I took care of her. They sent her to a mental clinic or mental hospital. She was there for a week. I visited her every day. In time, probably like 3 weeks to a month later, I did confront her about it, about the emails, the pornography. She promised it was going to stop, and she promised that she wasn't going to want to be with her ex-boyfriend anymore or talk to him anymore, and that sort of thing. About a month later, okay, About a month later, maybe 2 months, um, we got into another argument. And I found out she was talking to this guy that she met at some party that she went to without me. And I actually had I saw her Facebook page the next day, and that guy had sent her a friend request. Well, about a week after that, I decided I gotta figure out what's going on here. Okay, and I decided to send her a text message from another phone, pretending I was this guy she met at the party, and at the same time, I was texting her on my phone. Now, I kid you not, when she's texting me, okay, we're texting, her and I, she's saying, "Oh, I love you so much, I miss you." But I'm pretending to be this guy at the party on the other phone, and she is more than interested in having something with that guy too, and seeing that guy too. So at the same time, she's texting me that she loves me and she wants to be with me and she's so happy with me and all that good stuff. She's texting some other guy. And that was a crazy, crazy moment for me. Um, with that being said, I confronted her. Um, I broke up with her. She was very much pursuing me to get back with me. And she told me at some point, you either get back with me or never talk to me again. And being really codependent at that time, I decided to I decided to get back with her. I know it's so stupid, right? It's looking back on it, it's unbelievable. Um, things were back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I mean, there were ups and downs throughout the whole next year after we got back together. But about a year later, we were laying in bed together, and she got a text message from some random number. The number was not saved in her phone, and it said "moi, moi." Well, she told me it was just some guy that was pursuing her. She didn't want anything to do with him, but later it would turn out that she was actually sleeping with this guy. Okay, so more problems. I broke up with her. 2 weeks later, we're back together, and things are good for a couple of months until she says, "Hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. You're boring. I'm not in love with you anymore." And she ended up going with some other guy. Okay, she ended up going with some other guy. So I went ahead and went no contact with her at that point. This is enough. I went no contact. I didn't hear from her, and I never thought I was going to hear from her again. But I had blocked her from everything, okay? Everything that I could think of. But about 3 months after she did that, she broke up with me, left me for this other guy. About 3 months after that, um, I opened my work email and she sent me this long email how, she's changed and how she learned her lesson and she wants me back. And of course, you know me already. Stupid me. I went back. I went back. Um, Things were okay for a while, um, and then I ended up moving in with her. And, we moved in together for about 6 months. But by the third month, she was already getting agitated. She was like, "I don't like you living with me." I mean, she would say crazy things like, "Since you're here, I can't walk around the house naked." She would get so mad that, I would leave one little spot on the sink. She would get mad because I bought the same food from the grocery store every time. It was just unbelievable. Just the littlest things that would just drive her crazy. And I was out of town at a work thing, and this was in early April, mid-April of this year. So maybe what, 2 months ago, or not even, a month and a half ago. And I got a call from her stepfather saying that he visited the house that we were living in together, and she had another guy there. So I contacted her about that. I was out of town at the time, of course, and she said, "No, it's not a guy, it's a girl from work, and she looks like a guy." Turned out it was another guy. Um, you know, she kind of did the whole thing, well, I really don't know what I want, but I'm going to move out and I still want to date with you. I still want to go on dates with you and things like that. But 2 weeks ago, almost exactly, she sent me an email saying, hey, she loves this guy. She wants to be with this guy. She doesn't love me anymore. She doesn't think about me anymore. And to never contact her again. And that's where we stand. And it has been an emotional roller coaster um, that you will never believe. One day she wanted to have a $20,000 wedding. The next day she said, no, let's have a small wedding. Let's save our money for a house. One day she wanted to have a kid. The next day, no, 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 I don't want to have a kid. One day she wanted to have this business. The next day she wanted to have that business. The next day she wanted to have this business. The next day she wanted to have that business. She could never make her mind up on anything she wanted to do. She couldn't hold down a job. Okay. She, in the 3.5, 4 years that I knew her, I think she had 5 different jobs. She either got fired from the job or she quit. Um, she can't control her money. She's about $55,000 or $60,000 in debt. Um, there's a lot of things. A lot of things. She would tell me the craziest things. She'd tell me the craziest things. And very, very hurtful things sometimes. But what amazes me is how quickly she can move on from somebody else. She breaks up with me, and the next day she's with somebody else. Um, it's something that bipolar people can do. People that don't have bipolar, um, we break up and we need time. We need time to heal. We need time to um, make ourselves happy again and find peace in our life again. And then we worry about finding maybe another partner. But people with bipolar, they are able to turn on and turn off switches instantly. And the last time I talked to my ex-fiance, it was like I was a stranger to her, that I meant nothing to her. After 3.5, 4 years of me doing everything for her, I probably gave her almost $20,000 of my money. I gave her tons of my time, my attention. I did everything I could for her, but it was never enough. It was never enough. But, there's way, way, way more to the story, but I think you get the basic idea. This is a story that is very common when you date someone with bipolar. And by the way, she was diagnosed with bipolar in January of this year, which is about 5 months ago, 6 months ago. But of course, she's been bipolar since I've known her and probably way, way before. And now I can see the waves that she would go into to mania, and then she would maybe get normal, and then she would go into deep, deep depression and sleep and sleep and sleep. And she just didn't want to see anybody. She didn't want to do anything. And then she hits mania again, and she thinks I'm boring, and she doesn't want to be in the routine anymore, and she wants to go feel the butterflies and all of that stuff. Um, look, I want to make this a series and take smaller topics at a time, to try to help people out there, and I would love to hear your story. Um, I have a feeling that our stories have a lot of similarities. The lying, tons and tons of lying. This woman could lie to me like nothing. Okay, she didn't know the difference between the truth and a lie, and that's just part of the mental disorder that she's going through. The lying, the cheating, the sexual drive that these people have with this condition when they hit mania is just through the roof. They want to have, sexual partners, new sexual experiences, and it's very, very harmful to relationships, obviously. No good with money. Um, And she could never accept responsibility for her actions. She was taking an online course, she failed the course, she blamed it on me. She got into a car accident one time. I wasn't even in the car, I wasn't even talking to her. She blamed me. um, so if you are dating someone who's bipolar, or engaged to someone who's bipolar, or married to someone who's bipolar, um, or thinking about being with somebody who's bipolar, um, do a little research. Watch my videos. I'll be putting more videos, hopefully one a day or one every other day, about my experience, and to educate people a little bit more about bipolar. And then hopefully we can also get some discussion going back and forth, about the condition. And people hopefully can heal through this channel. People can learn from this channel. That's how I envision it. I'm not an expert on the topic. I'm not a medical doctor. This is just from my research and from my personal experience, um, and that's what I'm basing all of this off of. I certainly hope this video helped. There will be much more to come in terms of this topic. And if you made it to the end, I really, really appreciate it. And I promise you this. I promise you this. If you decide to cut off this individual that you're seeing or thinking about seeing, or you have been seeing, that has bipolar, it very well might be the best thing that you ever do. You have to really understand this is going to be a roller coaster ride, an emotional roller coaster ride that you're going to have to deal with your entire life. Okay? That my ex-fiance, by the way, was getting therapy and was getting medicine as well, taking medicine, and still, the mania was crazy, the depression was crazy. Yes, there are some instances, I think, where you can, the therapy and the medicine can control them to a point where you might be able to have some relationship with them, but there's always that risk. Appreciate you guys very much for watching the video. I hope to get some feedback from you guys, and I will definitely be posting another video very soon. Thank you guys so much.